Hello everyone and welcome back. This is C and I, and in today's video we've decided to do something a little fun, not like the always serious, talking about top 10s and that and all those things, but we just wanted to take a relaxed approach, give you some of our top, Middle Eastern, let's say a pop quiz when it comes to Middle Eastern houses in general. So we have about 8 or 10 questions here that she will respond, and then I'll also respond to them. So these are going to be among some of our favorite houses, among our favorite Middle Eastern fragrances, our least favorite, and what's not. So I'm the moderator here. So let me just start off by going with the first question, which says, what are your top 3 Middle Eastern houses? See,
my top 3 Middle Eastern
maybe the current ones.
Latafa has to be there. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Paris Corner, because I like the direction they're taking. I think Paris Corner started off, well, they've always maintained, especially when they introduced the Emir line. But I think now the fact that they're grabbing the new, DNAs, I like them for that. that. The other house is going to be, this one is a tricky one now. I'm going to say Swiss Arabian, guys. I'm yet to find a Swiss Arabian that disappoints me. So I'm going to say those 3. Latafa, Paris Corner, Swiss Arabian.
Okay. So for me, I'm going to go with your first 2, Latafa, Paris Corner, and my third is going to be Fragrance World, just because of the affordability they give us, So when it comes to Fragrance World, if you can access them, it's like great value for your money. They are going to give you every single thing that they have, they put in the effort, just that they're a little pushy when it comes to the packaging, So my top 3 current fragrance houses are going to be Latafa, Paris Corner, and Fragrance World. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is what is your single most underrated Middle Eastern house?
Oh, most underrated is going to be that Fragrance World. Fragrance World. I'm going to throw Fragrance World there, but at the same time, this is going to be a two-sided, a coin has 2 sides. Fragrance World has to do something about their visibility.
Yeah.
So Fragrance World is underrated by default because because the distribution is lacking in there. But I feel they're underrated in the sense that once you try some of the Fragrance World fragrances and some from their subsidiary, which is FA Paris, for instance, that Rose d'Emotion, that is one of the most beautiful fragrances I've ever smelled ever, and I do have a lot of other Fragrance World fragrances here that smell so good. So like I said, it's a two-way street when it comes to this. Underrated because some people genuinely don't know Fragrance World, and because Fragrance World are not throwing their weight in terms of distribution. So I'm going to put Fragrance World on that one.
I agree. Okay, so for me personally, I'm going to go with Our Tanya or Our Tanai.
Our Tanya. I don't know. Our Tanya.
I'm going to go with them, I wasn't exposed to a lot of their fragrances, but with a few that we have tried, I think they are quite underrated, and I think they also have the same issue with Fragrance World. They are
they're not visible.
Yeah, Our Tanya, I don't see them quite a lot, but all their fragrances I've tried so far
are good.
Yeah, they are
very good.
And I think their price point too is the same range as Fragrance World.
Yes.
That's $10, $12, $10, $12, $15.
For good quality.
Yeah, for good quality. They get the fragrances, the dupes right too. So I think personally I'm going to go with Our Tanya.
That's a good one, yeah.
Our Tanya. Okay, so the next one is what are your 3 favorite perfume notes? Your 3 favorites, that you would always want to have. At least they should be included in some of your major loves.
Sandalwood. I love sandalwood. I like the twist it gives to fragrances. I like how multifaceted it can be. I like the fact that it can be creamy, it can be woody. I like how it polishes a fragrance. So that's going to be one. And I don't want to break it down to say woods and this because it's going to be difficult. So that sandalwood I love. Ylang. I love ylang ylang.
So floral.
Yeah, floral. Yeah, floral. I love anything that makes a fragrance buttery and stuff. So I love that as well. Another one that I can throw there. Oh, vanilla. Vanilla is going to be there. Vanilla is going to be there. But I know it's going to be like a lazy one because, vanilla ties in everything basically. So vanilla, sandalwood, ylang ylang. If I'm to throw, I'm not, okay, you're going to ask the ones I don't like. So let me just stick to those ones. I love sandalwood. I love florals, but I don't like my florals to be sharp. This is why every time I look at a fragrance pyramid, I need to see whether it's got that woody touch of sandalwood, because my woods, I try to be careful with my woods, but yeah, that's what I can put out there.
Yeah. So florals, woods, vanilla,
gourmand.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, I would go with the woods. You know, I love my woody fragrances. Anything to do with like akigala wood, agar wood, cedar. I love my woods. So
I know you love your woods.
I love woods. Currently, I like my citruses. You know, I'm getting into my citric, phase where I'm loving like a lot of citruses. You know, so I think I'm going to go with that.
Citruses.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So the third, I would say, okay, the third should also be the gourmands, the vanillas and the the gourmands. So I think woods and mosses, the citruses, and then the gourmands.
And then the gourmands,
are going to be my three favorites. Okay, so which ones will be your least favorites? Maybe one or two.
I have a problem with Okmos. Any those notes that tend to be so green and damp and stuff. So I have a problem with such notes. So I'm just going to extract Okmos in particular, because every time I see Okmos on a pyramid, I really have to make sure I'm 100 when it comes to the fragrance, because it can easily take a fragrance in a direction or whatever direction. I wish I could class them the way you did, where you said gourmand, and then when you said florals and woods. I wish I could, but you see, in as much as I would love to say woods, I have a problem with woods as well, depending on how they are done. If the woods are pushy, especially with the oud, there's two types or three or whatever variations of oud. I don't like the really, really oudy in your face type of situation there. So those, woods, and you mix with smoke, and then you have cedar, and then you have and it just becomes too much for me. And the other note that I don't like at all is Manoi oil, cherry flower. Oh my God. That is one note that once it's put in a fragrance there. And I remember buying Soleil Orchid by Tom Ford. And there was something in it that I just couldn't place. I was saying, what is wrong with this fragrance? And then I went on to get a clone for Frank Barclay's Cocaine, and it's got that Manoi oil. It was when I discovered that there's something there that I don't like. So those are the ones I'm going to throw there. I can't really group them, because if I do, there are some, say for instance, if I say mossy, there are some that's going to be fall in there and be affected. So this is why I said Okmos. I know for a fact it has to be a certain Okmos. Otherwise, if it's that marine, like damp feel, seaweedy green type of thing, no. But having said that as well, you find that there are some fragrances, like the one that you like, that Mugler, it's got also a green thing, but it works. So it's tricky. But there are some,
Aura.
It to me, it has to be for me to smell to what extent what is doing what.
Okay.
Maybe instead of me to just say, I'll put everything. Yeah, because I might say Okmos here, and there's one fragrance or 10 that have been done with the most beautiful Okmos. Okay. But I can tell you, those are the notes that when I see on a pyramid, I have to literally, I won't blind buy. Yeah. I will have to smell it, because...
Okay. I get it.
So those are the ones that come to mind at the moment. Manoi oil, anything damp feeling, and very woody, wood mixed with leather, mixed with smoke, mixed with that becomes a bit challenging.
Okay, so for me, I think one I cannot do are those, they call them the fougere, the green herbal fougere. They are like masculine, masculine to me.
Like vintage castle.
Yeah, those greens. It's like too green, too masculine to me. So I don't like those fuchsia. And I think men, it's usually for men.
For men.
I see a lot of fragrances with fuchsia, herbs, greens for men, but personally I don't like those, in my fragrances at all. I also don't like yellow florals.
Ylang.
No, I don't. I do like ylang, but I don't like marigold.
Okay.
I don't like marigold. I don't like. I think there's one called narcissus or something.
Narcissus.
I don't like that too. A few yellow florals. I prefer the white florals. Those ones like the orange blossom, the tuberose. I prefer those ones. They are done right, but the yellow florals come across as old school. They give those old school feel in most fragrances.
I do get what you mean.
There are always exceptions to the rule.
Yes.
There are always exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, I wouldn't. Whenever I see marigold and those the narcissus or those. I'm particular about those ones. I will not, yellow florals, but some of them like ylang, which I believe is a yellow floral. I like that one, I like that one because it's creamy and all those, So yellow florals, that fuchsia, which I don't like. I like my animalics, but I don't like even civet. I can tolerate. And one that I didn't like that I'm liking now, maybe I'll say milk.
Oh yeah, I love milk. Now I'm also liking milk, but that's another one that depends on how it's
tricky.
Yeah, it depends, on how it's made. It can be the most beautiful thing you'll ever smell, and it can be just plain weird. So
milk,
but I'm loving milk as well.
Same
Especially with these new they've taken this direction of playing around with milk a lot, and I like those fragrances that are coming up with the that kind of concept.
Okay, all right. So this one says, what is the one fragrance you would gatekeep? If you are not on YouTube and you are not recommending to your audience, which one fragrance do you have in your current collection that you would never tell a friend, no matter how close you are and they ask about it? Which one would you gatekeep?
That one's a tricky one. I'm going to say there's so many, so I'll pose it at you because you are the one who's guiding these questions. While you say yours, I have to think of mine because there's this guilt thing that you have with your fragrances. That which one would I say? This one really, really, really. So what's yours?
Okay, so for me, it's going to be a combo. I have some combos, like two particular combos. I will gatekeep. One, I think I featured on one of my YouTube shorts. That was Cheriosa 59. Cheriosa 59 combined with Blueberry Musk. And then is it what's the name? Vanille Banane, I'll put it up here, that is like a niche, but a very affordable niche. So Blueberry Musk with Cheriosa 59.
Wow. Okay.
Even those two with that banana fragrance, I will gatekeep because it is one of the best combos I have ever come across. So whenever I do that, I don't let anyone know what I'm wearing, and I always get compliments on that combo. And I think in most recent times, another combo that I would gatekeep is going to be December Vanilla mixed with Empire Victor.
I was going to that fragrance was on my mind. But you know why I was guilty about saying it is it's still new, but I don't see myself making a U-turn on it because it gave me the feeling I got with Fenty.
Yeah.
Fenty is one fragrance I will gatekeep. It's one fragrance that I cannot live without. It was one fragrance that I will always have, even a backup of, So the reason why I threw the question back at you is I just wanted to make sure that are we on Middle Eastern or just talking about fragrances in general?
Well,
guys,
could be in general.
Yeah, if it's in general, I love Fenty. I don't know how Rihanna came up with that. I know she worked with Louis Vuitton, but it's not about the Louis Vuitton aspect that makes me love that fragrance. There's just something about that fragrance that is just so beautiful to me. Now, let me tell you that for you to understand that it's not really about the Fenty being the Fenty. I bought my December Rose in the UK. I had to find somebody who, because I couldn't find it in Zim, I couldn't find it in South Africa. I had to buy it in the UK, and it cost me close to £60, if I'm not mistaken. Because the minute I heard there was a clone for Fenty, I did not care what it would take for me to get it. So that's a fragrance that I would say I love. In as much as the December Vanilla came, you know, short of other whatevers, it's just I'm just here to emphasize that it's not really about the Fenty because it's Rihanna. I'm not even that big of a fan, but I'm just saying she nailed that fragrance to my nose. It's a fragrance that I can say is my staple. Even if I didn't have all these fragrances, that one I would love to have dupes of and whatever. And it was also the other reason why I asked you to bring the Blueberry Musk, because Blueberry Musk I couldn't find in the UK. How I got to know of Blueberry Musk was through Smelly Cat. He's the one who came and he said, this smells a bit like Fenty to me. And I was on the case, but I couldn't find it. I went on Amazon UAE. I couldn't find that fragrance. And when you said you could find it, I knew I needed it. I haven't smelt it, but if it's anything like that, I know I'm going to love it. So Fenty is one fragrance
we have something in common. You know, you like the Fenty and the Blueberry Musk is like a supposed dupe of that. You know, I'm not going to give anything because you're now going to talk about it. But so it means at least we have, you know, we love that in common.
I love the Fenty, guys. That I'll always have. And then the next one is going to be that Empire Victor. But why I said I will say that in quotation is because it's still new to my collection. But it was one fragrance that just smelling it like this, I knew this is a fragrance that I won't even put on the shelf. You know, I know that. That's how I am. If I love a fragrance that much, I'll keep it in a nice secret place.
Away from Mima.
Away from Mima. Yeah, away from Mima. You know. So anyway, to make sure that I don't sound or confuse you guys, I'm going to say one maybe that's going to be closer to that is going to be that Kayali Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli. I have that fragrance. So I'm going to put it at number 2. Why? Because that Empire Victor is still new, okay? It's still new, but it kind of vibes in a way, something in there feels, you know, as though it's not the same thing at all, but it vibes like that. So I'm going to say it is that Kayali Vanilla Sugared Patchouli, Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli, and Fenty. Those are the 2. But I know I'm going to go crazy with Empire Victor because I love it. So I'm going to just throw it there. But in respect of the fact that, or just for the sake of the respect, the fact that it's still new, I've given you an option that I've always had so that you guys don't feel cheated.
I want to see your review on that. I really am waiting for that. Okay, so, and well, this is quite similar. This one says, what is the one fragrance you would just run out to buy as soon as, you know, it's done, it's exhausted? Which one?
It's going to be that Fenty. And it's going to be that Vanilla Royale. But Vanilla Royale, in case I lost you guys, is the same as December Vanilla. So December Vanilla and that Fenty, those are the fragrances that I knew. Even if I opened a gift and that one was included as well, I'm not giving it away because I love those scent profiles. Those are just beautiful fragrances. I think they're well crafted, well made. I would definitely go buy a bottle as soon as either is finished.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to go with not Stag. I guess just because I don't want to repeat the previous fragrances I mentioned, you know, but I would do that. I will repurchase those fragrances, you know, in the earlier question. But I'm going to repurchase not Stag. I like that, you know, refreshing, simple, playful vibes. You know, I'm not really that kind of playful girl, but not Stag Expression the Fourth has really impressed me to the extent that I wouldn't mind owning a second bottle, you know. So I'll repurchase. I'm most likely going to repurchase not Stag Expression. When it comes to the niche, there is one I would always want to have in my collection. Alexandria II by Zejov. I love that fragrance. It's like my number 1 when it comes to almost everything. Yes, and when it comes to, I think we have one for niche, we have one for Middle Eastern designer. Do I have any designer fragrance I would repurchase?
With me, when it comes to niche, I'm going to say that Ombre Chromatique by Maison Crivelli. That's a good fragrance. Yeah, that's a good fragrance. I can see how it can be pushy, but that is a good fragrance. You won't be smelling like a lot of people. You can literally go to a mall with thousands of people. You might not find somebody smelling like that. So I like that Ombre Chromatique.
I'll try it.
On the niche side, I would certainly purchase that one.
Sure. Let me try it before I leave.
Oh, okay. I will give it before you leave. You can try that one.
Yeah, and the designer side, I'm not really. No, I don't have anything in the designer side that I
the designer for me is always going to be Mon Guerlain. You know, the EDP, the EDT, the Intense. I love that scent profile. I think it's well made. So yeah.
Okay, that's nice. And what is the one overhyped fragrance family, like a fragrance family or notes that you think is like overhyped? You might still love it, but might think
I think gourmands are overhyped. But I can see also why, because they're crowd pleasing and stuff, but I'd say there is a little bit of an overhype there when it comes to the gourmand fragrances. But let me leave that one and say, what else? Overhyped, which one?
I agree. I think gourmands are overhyped, honestly, you know, in as much as everybody, I don't know where the sudden surge gourmand, you know, it was like a sudden thing, then everybody gourmand, vanilla, and even within the gourmand, vanilla is overhyped, you know. Maybe other notes fine, but vanilla, you know. And I like vanilla, but it has to be something else, like December vanilla. It's like patchouli, rum, vanilla, something else, creme brulee. But you know, those straight up vanilla scents. Kelly, 28.
Vanilla 28.
It's like, you know, they are good, but I think gourmands and most especially vanillas are quite overhyped, you know. Yeah. So that's what I think. Okay, so I think, is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's all. Nobody's offended, I guess.
Yeah, that's just general discussion, guys. It's not every day that, you know, this we will be like this together. So we just thought to throw in some of these fun topics and to just discuss, you know, our viewpoints about them. So just to make it fun as well, not to just keep it fragrance review related, or not fragrance review. Sorry, not just to avoid making it just about reviewing fragrances. These are some of the things that we're talking about behind the scenes, and when it strikes us that, oh no, let's make a video about it, we're just making a video. But there's no pun intended. If you like a certain whatever, it is what it is, you know. These are just our opinions. All
right, so thank you so much, and we hope to see you in our next one. So take care.
Bye for now.